Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined in studio today. We've got a very special guest. We've got Chris Andrews, sports director of the director of the sports book. Excuse me, Chris. South Point Casino Hotel. Thanks for coming in. We've got our normal partner in crime. We've got Preston, Sports Cheetah here. And it's an interesting video. We got like the two sides of the fence. You two were going toe-to-toe last Friday here in Vegas. And guys, it's the middle of May, and we're going to be talking college football. And there's only one reason we're doing it. It's because of this guy right here, Chris Andrews. You've only been in town less than 3 months, and you are shaking things up on the Vegas Strip, my friend.
Well, that's why they hired me, Marco. I got hired by the South Point, owned by Michael Gaughan. Frank Tody's one of the other partners there too, and they're old Vegas guys. Matter of fact, I worked for them in 1980 and 81. And they tapped me to come in, and I just had lunch with them today, and we're telling some old gambling stories from Las Vegas. And I really think if Michael and Frank had told those stories among some of the corporate suits around town, I think they'd pass out from some of the things we were talking about. But it was great, and that's what they want me to do down there.
It's refreshing. I mean, there's so many corporations and the big casinos that, they've got bean counters, in the corporate offices looking at the W&L, the profit and loss statements. And it's not bookmaking, it's accounting, and to see a casino have a book, stand alone, sit there, go ahead and put your own number up, take a stand. My hat's off to you, and you came out, and you're not superstitious. You did it on Friday the 13th of all days, May 13th. You brought out 40 college football lines, and you opened it up for the public to go ahead and bet. And, we're not talking week one games. We're talking about the whole season. You came out. Kudos to you.
Well, we had week one as well.
And you had week one as well.
Right.
And the guy sitting next to you over there, he was in attendance Friday, and he was doing a little bit of firing on some of those games.
You said we battled it out. I'm glad it wasn't a fist fight, because he's a lot bigger than me. At least I had a reasonable shot.
Well, you're a KG vet, though.
I don't know how long I could dance around this guy, but I'd have to give it a shot.
But really, real quick, it was even more impressive to see the week ones, because a lot of the smaller schools, that is me especially, hadn't really dug into yet. I couldn't bet into those week one lines as often as I could the games of the year with some of the bigger schools. So the fact that he did both, all at one time, first to market, it was very impressive. And yeah, definitely, hats off.
Thank you.
Well, in a couple of the later videos, we'll dig a little deeper in some of those ones that you guys went toe-to-toe and had maybe some different opinions. But what I got to ask you, Chris, is the turnout. Obviously, for something like this, you're not getting the casual bettor walking in to look at numbers in May for 5 months down the road. It's sharps coming in. And how was the turnout?
Turnout was Jimmy Vaccaro, who I work with as well down at the South Point. We kind of had some numbers in mind, what we were shooting for. And I was joking with Preston earlier. I said, if we did like 2 million that first day, we know we had some really bad numbers. We did not do 2 million. But we did do right about what our target was, which we were only taking a dime, but it was, I'd say mostly, it wasn't mostly, it was 100% sharp guys that first day coming in. And, we had a number in mind. We got right around that number, so we were very, very happy with it. Some new faces that came into the South Point, and, we showed them kind of what we do. We're not afraid to take a bet. We're not afraid to be first. And I think it worked out about as perfectly as I could have asked for.
Well, those are 2 points that, I was going to drill in on this first video, and the part of the new faces. This is a big town, but there are a lot of competition. Let's face it, up and down the Strip, there's so many different sports books and, corporations behind the sports books. For you guys to get new faces in, kudos to you to do something like this, but to take the stand and take the money and set your own number. You guys, it's too easy today to sit back and wait and copy and paste. Let's face it, a lot of the corporate ones, they do that. They don't want to take a position. The sports book is more of a courtesy than it is out there to be an integral part of the casino property. And for you guys to do that, this is old school Vegas, and I love it. And it's good for both you and for us as the bettors.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where I really was flying solo. I tried to run numbers past a few guys, and they all looked at me and said, I'm nowhere near ready. I said, well, I'm ready, and I'm going to go. Again, a lot of encouragement from Jimmy Vaccaro and from the higher-ups. They said, yeah, if you're ready, let's go do it. They had enough faith in me. The only guys that I probably could have consulted were the guys on the other end of the counter, and I couldn't trust them to do it. And they,
Yeah, that line looks great.
yeah, jeez. So I was flying solo. But I do want to say, I have like a certain methodology that I do, and I believe in my system. I did have one error this year, and we'll talk about that a little later. But I believe in it, and I think the numbers will hold up and be pretty good. With always a million changes by the end of the year. I can't count that. But I think like at this point in time, my numbers will be just about as good as anybody's.
All right, well, good stuff for this first. We're going to dig a little deeper here in the next couple videos. We'll be back in a moment with Chris Andrews and Preston, the Sports Cheetah. Don't forget, weekend all access every weekend at Wager Talk. Thursday through Monday. Pick your favorite capper, $69. You can get all of his plays, one price, all sports, it's all inclusive. Check it out, wagertalk.com. We'll be back with more.